All right, we should be live. My name is Robert Newman. I'm the founder of InboundREM. I am sitting with one of our clients, Dean Short. Hi, Dean. Dean Short has been with us for, I want to say, we probably signed him up about 8-9 months ago, but we have a live website for about 6 months. And the reason we're doing this video today is that Dean was quite literally one of our very first clients that we put onto what we refer to as a new stack. But what that is for the audience that might not know what that is we've built a proprietary website combination of technology that works on WordPress. So our clients own the site, and we spent a lot of time, about 1.5 years, building this product so that it gets better inbound marketing results, it works faster, the IDX listings can be read on it, and the list of stuff goes on and on and on. But the reason for this video is that Dean has agreed to talk to us about his experiences using our new website and our all-inclusive SEO services that go along with our website offers. So without any further ado, Dean, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience so that they know who you are?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dean Short. I'm a realtor in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. My wife and I engaged InboundREM in August last year to build us an SEO lead site. We've had a great experience getting the site stood up. Since the site's been live, we've had steady growth in organic traffic. We're seeing, great results in terms of domain authority. So far it's working very well. We're very happy with it.
Perfect. So I'm going to ask you some specific questions. And for the audience that's watching, guys, I want Dean to verify this, besides agreeing to give you access to a series of updates that are going to be accessible to our clients anyway, but putting you at the top of the list, have I offered you anything to do this video testimony?
No, not at all. Okay.
So I did send Dean a list of questions that I was going to ask, but other than that, and these questions are meant to get his true response, as hopefully my audience will see. I try to do my ideas about producing content on the web is to try to be as honest as possible. I don't think that anybody hits everything correctly, ever, any service. And I hate videos that just do nothing but, oh, it's all great, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so you already said this, but I'm going to ask the question as I wrote it anyway. How long did it take to build the website, and what, if any, were the pros and cons of the process with us, with InboundREM?
So it took about 3.5 months to build a website. So it was August through December 1st. It was during that time we engaged your team with respect to content in terms of defining communities and condo feature pages that the site would stand up with, work through nuances of website colors, transporting our content over from our previous site, and basically getting it, ready to go. And yeah, it was a great experience. We found your team to be fast and responsive. Content development was particularly excellent given the uniqueness of this market. We, Mexican real estate in Cabo San Lucas, we swear to God, your team came up with, content for some of the content pages that we probably would have never found ourselves. That, really made for a good result. We found that we did have to edit some things because there is, local on the ground knowledge that your team of content writers wouldn't necessarily have, but we closed quickly on those and got everything sorted out. With respect to the process, there were probably times where Samantha and I would have been looking for a bit more information in terms of schedule and progress. And a lot of that has to do with both of us being people that have come from IT project backgrounds. Samantha was previously an IT project manager. I was a management consultant and worked on a number of IT projects. That said, I totally understand the need in your business to keep your overhead low. And the clients that, largely that you're going to end up dealing with are probably not going to have the same skill set that we were bringing to the table in terms of IT skills. So I have to say that while there were moments where we were looking for a little more information, I would expect any other client would be completely happy with all of that. And you guys delivered quickly. We got a fabulous result. We stood it up, and we're extremely happy with what we got right in the first go.
Perfect. I mean, thank you for your input. And obviously, to the people that are listening, in terms of clients, Dean is a client that I knew was having a good experience. So I'm not gonna try to be deceptive about that. But I will say that one of the reasons that Dean seems to be having a good experience is that SEO does tend to take a while, and everything that Dean said is true. His site, which I'm going to share my screen here shortly. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see Dean's beautiful face, and then you're going to see right behind that I've got. So these are his metrics. These are referring domains, backlinks, organic traffic, traffic value, and organic keywords. So all these metrics are growing and improving, and we do have them on the first page for a couple of searches, but there's not enough here to get into the next part of the review, which is an interesting element. So let's see here. Let me see if I can turn this off. Now I want to turn it off, and there we go. All right. So now there it is. It's now stopped being shared. So all those things are growing, just as Dean said, but this review is doubly worth doing because Dean has done something that few of my clients have, which is he's driving his own traffic to the brand new website without having necessarily waited for the organic results to kick in. So the traffic and the leads that will come from organic rankings, which will happen, but we've had the launch site maybe 6 months on the dot. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So usually it takes more like 12 to 18 to really let the website mature and have those results start flowing through so that you are getting leads that are good enough that you can close transactions off of organically. And then once they're there, in theory, if your provider is doing the right job, it just grows. It just keeps growing consistently and steadily until usually organic is the vast majority of most of my longer term clients' lead generation strategies. But how are you driving traffic to your website, Dean?
Okay, so primarily, since the site went live and we were doing this with our previous site, we were engaging in the Google Ads to drive traffic to the site. We carried on from as soon as the old site went off, we restructured and put the ads back on the new one. We've been driving traffic that way. And only recently, I think it was just in early May, we decided to shut it off for a little bit because we were spending, about $15 a day US, 20 bucks a day Canadian, on Google Ads. And we turned it off in early May because we're kind of heading into a bit of an off season here where, the traffic coming to Cabo dies down and, it might not be the best spend at the moment. And we also wanted to see what would go on without it. So it's, it's a bit of an exercise in looking at the analytics numbers and seeing what's been going on. So Google Ads, we've also been doing some property-specific Facebook marketing that ends up driving traffic to our site. We have a client now and his wife who they're active on our site probably every week, and we've had conversations with them. They're just selling a property at home in Canada, and then they're going to plan their trip down. And we know they're a good lead that came from both Facebook and our website. There was a Facebook ad that drove them to the site, and then they have stayed with us ever since. So we're just waiting for them to get their ducks in a row and come for a visit. We will show them around and hopefully sell them a property. So Facebook has been helpful. We are also driving traffic to our site from Yelp. Now, Yelp is an interesting one because, we sat down to ourselves and said, okay, if I'm looking for a realtor in Cabo San Lucas, how am I going to go find one? And one of the searches we threw into Google was, best realtor in Cabo. And the top ranked non-ad, so the top organic rank was the Yelp page. So we said, okay, let's get a Yelp presence, So we pushed on the Yelp presence, and we got people, to give us reviews, and I could talk about how crummy Yelp is when it comes to the reviews. Well, no, they do things like they take them off your site, and they call them not recommended reviews, and then they're a bit like Facebook too. You can't communicate with them.
Right.
You can't get them on the phone and say, how come you're scrubbing my reviews? So they do those things, but either way,
unless you're trying to sell you ads, and then you can talk to them all the time.
so either way, we've got a #2 rank on Yelp, which is helping us get people over to our website. Samantha's actually working on a lead for a beachfront property on the East Cape right now that happened over the weekend, where they saw us on Yelp, came to the website, and contacted us. So that's been good. We've also, in addition to what you guys have been doing for backlinking, we've engaged in some local backlinking as well. There's some local guides, the Cabo Yellow pages, and a few other sites where we engaged in backlinking there to drive referral traffic. And we've also done a few email campaigns to our email database, which is bringing results to the site too.
Nice. So I know the answer to this question already, but you know me because you found me through some reviews, so you already knew how detail oriented I am before you ever committed to doing this video. Your $10 or $15 spend plus whatever you've been doing with Facebook, the website right now that we have set up for you isn't really demanding registration, right? It's not even requesting it, if I'm not mistaken. But with that setup, with the various things that you're doing, how many leads are you seeing through the back of your website, if you had to guess, before you turned off your marketing?
Okay, so what we're talking about here is not having forced sign up on our site. So we made a very conscious decision to have people. We made a very conscious decision to create a very welcome website where we wanted people to come in, we wanted them to use it, enjoy the experience, and then when they were, so to speak, good and ready, sign up. And we've probably been getting, at least a new lead every week. That's reasonably real. Like we've had some come and go, but we've been getting some that are really, really solid. We're corresponding with them. Sometimes in this market, people will get in touch as they're thinking about something. They'll drift away a little bit, and then they'll pop up and say, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, the week after next we're coming to Cabo. Let's look at property." So they kind of sift in and out. So we're, like I say, we're getting at least a good lead every week, probably some weeks 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think. Never mind. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to have to.
And here, and I'll just kind of talk a bit more about that approach. We wanted people to have that experience. We wanted them to sign up voluntarily, and we also didn't want to chase down a lot of leads that maybe weren't real.
Right.
So,
you're not chasing down a ton of just stupid, not qualified leads, right?
No, okay. No, we're not. We're at least, calling or corresponding with people who wanted to be talked to. Okay. Whereas, we were worried if we put, kind of cranked up the lead capture, that, we'd fill our days writing emails and making phone calls back to people that really, didn't have much of an interest.
Right. And so we're 6 months in, the new website has been live. Can I ask and get even a ballpark answer? Have you actually done some transactions off the leads generated by the website?
We have a number of very promising leads at the moment that we're working that came from the website. We have, I'll say, one deal. Yeah, we got 2 offers that are in flight right now. We got We got one deal that's closed that I can attribute to the website as well. So yeah, we're seeing, you know, exactly the kind of results we want to see, and we are looking forward to, you know, getting the organic growth that we're seeing. And I think our organic growth is up to what, 500 users a month now.
Wow. Okay. No, I didn't even know that. Okay. That's brilliant. I just hadn't checked, but that's excellent. And honestly, for the audience, I just want to let everybody know that the advantage of an inbound site is if there's a lot of good content, and there is on Dean's site, both content that he himself has placed there and we as a service provider have placed there. And this is just my opinion. Feel free to correct me anytime you want, Dean. But the results of that is that most likely a lot of these people that he advertised to that drove through Facebook, many of these people probably bookmarked the site. And it's not necessarily that it's all organic traffic that has come into the site that's now using the site. It's probably a combination of paid people that bookmark the site and keep coming back to read the articles, and also organic people that are new to the site coming into the site.
Exactly. We've seen a substantial growth in direct traffic.
Right.
On it. So in fact, the direct traffic, I think the last time I looked for, I think it was May over April, was as much as the organic traffic. I think we had about 400 and some direct traffic hits there too.
Right. And my experience being, you know, a professional marketer for 12 straight years, looking at these statistics, is the amount of people that it gets very confusing. The one bucket that we can't identify as marketers, like what is happening with it, is that direct bucket, because the initial contact with the brand could have been through paid, it could have been through organic. And then once they bookmark it, we have no idea what originated the initial contact. So the direct bucket tends to grow over time. But the good news is it only grows over time if you're an inbound marketing site, if you have a lot of content for them to come see, because not necessarily all of those people are coming back to the site over and over again to look at transactional information such as real estate listings. A lot of those people are coming back to look at information or where it's best to stay, or they're like, oh my God, I love going to Cabo. It was brilliant. I want to go back next year. I wonder what Dean and Samantha recommend for, you know, the best, I don't know, beachside resort, whatever, you know, whatever it is. I'm not being specific here. I'm just being general. But anyway, any thoughts about the differences between this website and advertising strategies that you're currently taking versus others that you might have employed in the past?
We only had, well, we had a couple other sites in the past, a Point2 site and an Easy Agent Pro site. And it was with the Easy Agent Pro site that we first engaged in Google Ads. And then as we ramped up to stand up this site, we started in on Yelp. We'd always done a bit of Facebook, but, you know, not a lot. But we're continuing with that. It's very property specific in terms of what we try to accomplish there. I don't know if we're doing anything new, but we're likely to take a good look at how our advertising strategy is working at the moment after we shut it off for May and June. And we might turn it back on with you know, some adjustments to our focus in terms of keyword strategy. But we're you know, I wouldn't necessarily do anything different than what we're doing now. We just might tweak the ads.
So let's visit for a second. Have you noticed, so I know, how long did you have your Easy Agent Pro site for? What was the timeline on that?
We had it from probably July and maybe June until June or July until we stood up this site in December.
That's not that much time, but did you notice any difference in actual results between the couple of months you had that site live and this particular website?
We're getting more? Okay, sorry. Yeah, Samantha's just reminding me that we're getting more traffic now on the new site, and that, you know, is a testimonial to the content, its usability. One of the things we like to do as soon as we get somebody signed up, you know, as we make contact and we get a feel for their requirements, is we like to set up safe searches in the IDX broker console. And we think that also drives return traffic to our site. So as new properties are showing up in searches or there's some kind of change, then a lot of these users get the emails, they pop back to the site, they look around, it's certainly keeping our site fresh in their minds. So that is something that we didn't really do much of with Easy Agent Pro. I don't think it had much facility for doing that either. So that's definitely a key point in terms of how this site is operating. Is we're trying to make very good on the whole tool set in the site.
Excellent. Dean, that was my list of questions, as you know, because I sent them over to you, and I actually said I was going to stick into them in a general way, but I think I actually stick to them exactly. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Because this video, the one that we're doing, is probably going to go on the homepage of my website, and if not there, then definitely on my primary landing page, with people who are checking us out as a service provider. So is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I want to talk just a little bit about some of the things that your team has done for us in terms of really helping us kind of fine tune the website. We've gone through a number of defect lists that really, some of the things that we didn't think were possible. Peo did some great work getting our listing pages organized in a manner that we really, really like. There were other things, and probably one of the biggest changes, we take on board feedback that we're getting from clients. So we had a number of clients kind of come through and say, yeah, I'm really looking for a condo in Cabo, and I need to be able to walk here and walk there and walk to the beach. So we went away and we did our analysis, and we said, okay, these are the subdivisions that have, subdivisions or areas that we consider that everybody was looking for condo too. So we said, okay, these are all of the building subdivisions that have condos that are walkable. So we created a safe search in IDX broker. We created a new page for walkable condos. And then we looked at it and said, we need a map. Because really, when somebody looks at this, they're going to look at it and go, I need to really be able to see where this property is. Right. So, talk to Rafe about it, and him and Peo got together, and then, my eyes lit up when they showed me the map. I was just thrilled. And then we had one little bit of feedback, and which was, and what Peo did was he came back, and instead of it being a round circle with the first picture in it, it was a square with rounded corners, and he dropped the price in at the bottom for us, and the thing works perfectly. And we're on those kinds of pages where we need to give people a sense of where is this subdivision, where is this condo building, where is it? We have the website in this market that has those tools that really, really make a difference. We, from a mapping perspective, we are head and shoulders above our competitors. We've looked at just about all their sites, and nobody is doing anything quite like this. So that is something that you guys did for us, and I really hope you can show that off to your other clients. It is making a big difference for us. We're considering those custom pages like the walkable condos page. We have 2 cities in the municipality, Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo. So we did the walkable page for both municipalities. So like people want to be able to walk to the beach, they want to be able to walk into town, restaurants, bars. As people who've visited here and get to know where those areas are, then they can go to that page and they can go, oh, okay, here's what's available, here's what they look like. Right. Okay, and maybe they end up deciding, well, it's not exactly what I want, but when they step back from it, they'll say, that's not exactly what I want, but then I go to another page and I go, oh, okay, well, that's not as far as I thought it would be from town, so that makes a difference to me too. So it's really, really helpful, we think, in terms of getting people's bearings and really figuring out, what they can get and where they can get it. Oh, and yeah, the other thing that we asked Ray for was a weather widget. And he came back with a beautiful one that we put in the sidebars, so literally on every page. You know, on the mobile page, it kind of optimizes vertically, and the weather widget's always there. It's there on the home page. Yeah, super for us because, you know, it turns out we end up showing up in organic searches for, you know, for Los Cabos weather. That's another thing that, you know, gets people to the site.
Do you mind if I shamelessly plug your website at the very tail end of this video?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for our audience, we've been talking a lot about Dean's site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up for you. The URL is caborealestateservices.com. I'm gonna add a couple of my thoughts at the end of this with Dean on the phone. And here's what my thoughts are. So when you're listening to this testimonial, I do think I've looked at a lot of the sites in Cabo. I think that right now with recreational market and what we've done is we probably have created the most informational website that's available inside his entire marketplace, which is basically what he was saying. As long as we can get the traffic there, we are likely to see the results because the concept of inbound marketing is having answers. And we have a lot of answers that nobody else has. And so if the audience figures that out, this website is bound to do more. It certainly will keep them on the website. And then as a service provider, what we have to do is make sure that those people are registering with the site. Right now, what we're seeing is that just off the sheer quality of the information and the fact the website's so much better than anything else that's out there, people are registering on their own. We're not even actually forcing them, requiring them, sending them down a loop, none of that stuff. Some of that is probably just due to the fact this is Cabo San Lucas. I'm saying that for my audience at large, because I don't want everybody to think that the perception being, this does, I think this review and Dean's testimonial, I think it shows our ability as a team to customize in a highly niche marketplace. I think this speaks well to our ability to do that. Dean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Anyway, I hope everybody's looking at the screen, seeing the site. I'm going to click on like you can see as I'm opening these up, look how much information is here, how specific it is. Some of that to us, a lot of that is just having a great client that really spent the time telling us what they wanted. Beyond what we did, I would like to think we did a great job to start with, but we also had a client on the other end of it who is giving us a lot of very specific information like walkable condos. Here's the page that he's talking about that he just mentioned inside his, the last little bit of this review. So you can see it. Here's the map. Here's all the properties that he was talking about. So they're listed on the map. And you can see here the communities below that. Without a client really trying to figure out what their audience needs, we as a service provider, we can take you so far, but having somebody on the other end that says, okay, you've done good, and here's what we can do to do better, that's what really creates an exceptional experience. And that's probably one of the reasons this team, Dean and his wife, are getting such exceptional results. And I hope that they're just going to get better over time, because this is all without the fully true organic nature of the site having kicked in yet. When it does, I expect the lead quality, lead count, lead conversion into a transaction is all going to go up. So I'm good. Dean, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think you covered it. You guys have done great work. You're going to continue to do some great work for us, because when we get off this call, you and I are going to talk about kind of an evergreen arrangement and how we'll work to boost more content and backlinks around the internet and continue to get the results that we're looking for. Perfect.
All right. Thank you again, Dean. I really appreciate it. We're going to stop this review now. If anybody has any questions for InboundREM, you can use any of the contact forms on my website, or if this video happens to be housed on a landing page, you will see that there is a sign-up sheet at the below. Just message me and I'll be happy to get back and answer any questions that you have. All right, we are stopped recording. Wait, hold on, sorry. Give me 1 second.